Okay, have you ever thought, like, the worst day of your life, the worst nightmare, the worst dream you could ever have that actually could possibly happen might just one day turn into the best day of your life? Or could something just flip upside down? An obstacle you're facing, a tremendous barrier that occurs, could suddenly become an opportunity? Is it ever that possible that the worst thing that you ever faced might flip upside down? Well, on this debut episode of the R Zone, we're going to talk about that. And we welcome the great Ali Stroker, who is the model, the epitome. She is the North Star of this mantra of turning things upside down. And I'm so excited right now. And it's going to happen right now, right here, right on this field in the R Zone. When you put your head on that pillow tonight, you've got one question. Are you glad you did, or do you wish you had?
The R Zone with Coach Jim Stroker.
We've all had people along the way in life who make a lasting impression. For me, one of those people was my high school basketball coach, Jim Stroker. He's coached hundreds of us teenage boys over the years and raised three of the most remarkable kids you'll ever meet.
I have coached hundreds of thousands of games right on these fields right here. But there's only one game that truly counts, and that game is your life. And you will be measured in that game by how you respond. E plus R equal O. The events, many of which are out of your control, plus your response, which is 100% on you, will equal the outcome. And now we're about to lean in on the power of your response. The R Zone. This is a podcast to share conversations on our own hero's journey. These are stories that have shaped my life and the mindset I hope that will help shape yours. This is coaching for life. It's not where we've been. It's all about where we're going. The R Zone is the space between stimulus and response. The R Zone is where you have the power to choose your response.
And now, join Jim Stroker in the R Zone.
The buzzer went off. The game is actually going to start. I mean, the fans are going, we want the show. And here you go. You got the show. We are here right now on the series Kick Off or Push Off. It's going to be incredible. And today, we have the MVP, the GOAT, the GOAT of the R Zone. The GOAT of the R Zone. What? What's that mean? Well, you're here on the R Zone. And what is the R Zone? Well, you know it. E plus R equal O. The events in your life mean nothing. No, I said nothing. Because what you do with those events, your response to those events mean everything. And I've got the R Zone queen right here who took the event and said, hey, screw you, event. I'm coming. And so this new kickoff episode is so much fun for me. And I'm introducing to you one of the three people that I admire most in my life. Two of them are Ali's siblings. And it should be just a great conversation. So, the 2019 Tony Award winner, the 2015 first, not second, not third, not eighth, the first, after over 100 years of Broadway, 100 years of people going onto that stage, and never had anyone actually rolled onto the stage. No one had ever. Until in 2015, Ali Stroker, in her incredible roles. Do you have? I need something to eat here. Is there a roll in the house? Her role as Ado Annie. No, that was in Oklahoma. As Anna took over in Spring Awakening and changed the world. So I'm going to flip it to this superstar because the way we play bounce pass, back and forth. And it's a good tempo. I'm talking too much because the person I want to talk is the star of the show. So, Allie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Dad. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
You have a podcast. Did you ever think that this would come true?
No, I really didn't.
It's amazing.
Although we've been podcasting since we've been, our old studio was in the car.
The minivan.
We played podcasts for years.
Done a lot of podcasting.
A lot of ad lib, a lot of
Improv.
Improv, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But what I love and what we love most is asking each other questions. I mean, it really started with Dad asking me a lot of questions. But then as I got older, I realized, hey, 1 second. I can ask you whatever I want too. So you might be getting a question being thrown your way today too.
Well, I hope so. Favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite bird?
Cardinal.
Favorite dinner?
Spaghetti.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
Houston's.
A favorite all-time song?
I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston.
And 2 more questions. Favorite morning, favorite time of the day?
Morning.
And last question. Favorite thing about Daddy? Well, me, the father.
My favorite thing about you is it seems like as you get older, you get even better and better. Is that possible? Like you just keep growing and changing and creating. And
you know what this means?
Hey, I wasn't done
here, and I got to go down to the store and buy you something, right? Blah, blah, blah.
No, but seriously, this is so inspiring to me because we always talk about like what does it mean to be a role model, and you can talk and you can tell people what to do, but the most powerful way to lead is by just doing it. And so, you've got a book coming out, you have a podcast. This is like the ultimate role model for me.
Yeah. Well, again, I had the luxury of carrying Allie around, and Allie, of course, was paralyzed at age 2. And her whole life changed, as did our family, right? And it's like these one day people. Don't you love one day people? Like one day. You go from life 1 to life 2, right? Mm-hmm. And I was lucky enough, as you know, to have a scrimmage. Because when I was 9 years old, bang, one day, my dad dies. And I am a little boy now without a dad. So we had these but for you were 2. Mm-hmm. And your life looked like it was going to be fairly normal or maybe even ordinary. And then all of a sudden you are thrown into this new potentially hero role that said, you know what, this is going to be really tough, but we think you got it in you. So like from the early, I know you've got your own take on this, but do you remember early on going like, I might be different here?
Yeah, I don't really remember anything before the accident. So for me, my life feels pretty normal, which is funny because you're saying, oh, because of this event, it made you extraordinary. But to me, this is what I remember, and this is normal to me. Now, the challenges that I had as a kid with a disability felt really big.
Yeah.
And not just the physical challenges of working hard every single week to build this strength to become independent, right? Yeah. That was like our goal because I use a wheelchair for mobility and a lot of the world is not accessible. And I had to learn how to transfer and I had to learn how to take care of myself. And so that was not just a given. I never took that for granted. And then when I got into theater, I feel like that's when I began to really live my truth and to like follow something that felt like it was always meant for me. Yeah. And I have to say that theater became not just this skill set and this hobby that I had, but it became my survival. Yeah. Because having a physical disability is not just a physical experience. It's also a really complicated emotional and psychological experience. And so theater for me was an outlet. It was where I got to play different people. I got to play different roles and realize, oh, everyone's got problems. And I got to sing and act and dance. And for me, those are amazing ways to express myself and get things off my chest. Like when I sing and when I would have voice lessons with Mrs. McBrayer down the street every week, it was my time to really like express myself. My voice is where I feel most free.
Yeah. So a lot of people, have different tools that they use to release stress and anxiety, tools to put them in a, their serene place where they live. And some people exercise a lot. So, but in a way, you've had to look outside the box and use other things. And what you're saying is, acting and singing allowed you to be free and let it go. Now, I know you went to a yoga class this morning and you've always been an exercise nut.
Well, yeah, not
just a nut.
Yeah.
I know you've been a nut.
I mean, I'm always been crazy. No, I think that the physical expression of my life has been something that I still am trying to unpack of like, what is the best way for me to let off some physical steam? Because I always feel better. And so many people talk about this. You always feel better after you've worked your body a little bit. But for those of us who have disabilities where that is more complicated, that can feel like a real challenge. Like, what is the right path for me in this way? And I think it also changes depending on what season of life you're in. I'm a mom right now and a wife. And so my time to take care of myself is not as long. So I'm trying to find ways to take care of myself and continue to follow my dreams. And, my dream of becoming a mom and a wife, is my main focus right now. But I've been so fortunate, I know you mentioned earlier about my career and the opportunities that I have been given and the opportunities that I have created.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what's so cool, and I, of course, when Allie was in Oklahoma, I'm still, I have my head in my head because I only made 76 shows because
that's not, you are not exaggerating.
No, I went to 76 shows, but the ironic part is I didn't watch Allie that much. I mean, I watched her, I loved her, but I watched more people. I watched people's response to you.
You mean you watched people in the audience?
I watched people in the audience, right?
This is
because
crazy.
Because that's what's so ironic about you. You're the big paradox. You're a big oxymoron. You're like, wait a minute. There's some young woman who's paralyzed in a wheelchair. She cannot walk. But she looks like she's so confident, so joyful, and so like appreciative of her life. And that's like, what's going on here? I mean, because we all have that in some way, that challenge that we're all going through. And we all know that when we do it, we get into our head like, why me? It's not fair. Like, this is too much. But for some reason, you make it look like, hey, you can do anything. So I know you don't do it purposefully, but I think you're well aware of the fact that your elixir, your superpower is just who you are and how you handle everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of what you're doing here is talking about the R zone. You're talking about response and your outlook and your perspective and your attitude and your effort. Yeah. Because, when people came to see me on Broadway, they got to watch me do what I love to do most. Yeah. Right? So that was the best piece of advice I got coming out of NYU was follow your excitement. If there's a show or a song or a movie or a TV show that you're really into, follow that, like get into that and learn that show, learn that song, because we all love to watch someone do something they love, right? And so that all lined up for me really well with theater and musical theater. But, again, I was the first person in 2015 to ever be on Broadway who uses, a person who uses a wheelchair. And that to me was really surprising, right? Because the disabled community obviously has been, around forever. And it makes me think about representation and how important that is. Because when I was growing up and we would go see Broadway shows, I never saw anyone like me. And that is so important. I mean, I had this tremendous support system and coaches and parents who were telling me, Allie, you can do anything. You can do anything. But it was something that was impossible. It had never been done. And so there had to be a belief in myself that I could do it. And I always said to myself, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. Yeah. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on Broadway one day.
Yeah. Well, and there are, it's funny from a dad's perspective, we're all parents, and you are like, you look at your kids in one way, and the glasses you wear, the perspective you take is so unique and special. But what I do see is something very special. It's this ultimate blend that we're looking for, and the blend is a blend of tremendous appreciation, gratitude, kindness, and love for others. Like, I've seen you after shows when you're like beat up, you're knocked out, and people are like, can I get your autograph? Can I get, and it's not like you're Allie Stroker. Next, Allie Stroker. Yeah, what's your name? Michelle. No, every single person you take time with, like you'll actually, Allie, it's like, we've been doing this for an hour and a half. You're like, Dad, I got to do this. And you got it, and you find the strength to do it. So your kindness and love is like up here, and everybody feels that around you. You're like a magnet. People run like I want to be around her because she's so vulnerable. She's telling everybody, "Look, I've got problems," so they can come up and go, "Look, so do I." And then secondly, though, you blend that with freaking grit. Wow. Freaking like the toughest, like, no, she doesn't look like if we were in a boxing match, she'd beat the shit out of me, excuse my language. But no, I mean, Allie's the toughest person I ever met, or one of the toughest, right? So grit, and here's kind of the mantra, when I go to Allie, and Allie's, you're human too, aren't you?
Yes.
Like, there's some off days. There's some crappy times. We don't just all wake up and go, hey, we did it. Life is great. No. We all go down here. But the thing that you say, that you're saying from your heart is, Dad, I'm going to be okay. Dad, no matter what happens in my life, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And that is confidence. And the only way you could ever say, I'm going to be okay, is for you to have gone through challenges and ended up okay. Yeah. And now, when mosquito bites hit you, or you lose your debit card, or maybe, I can't believe it. Like, are you kidding? My new sweater is gone. It's like, I'll be okay. Yeah. So how did you build this tremendous framework, this mindset of believing that no matter what happens, you'll be okay? And for viewers that might be like on the totem pole here going, yeah, I want to be able to say that. Like, how do you do those little things that make you, the stuff that you don't want to do, and you do it? Does that really help you feel like you're confident? That was a long question. I could back up. But
No, I love it. I got you. I'm right there with you. Okay. So first of all, I think that my grit is, and I think everyone has a different sort of recipe in this, because my grit is it's toughness, but it also comes with a lot of heart, because I've never felt like I could make it through my life alone. So I've always needed to have this home team, a group of people that I can call and talk to and feel like myself with, right? Like the favorites list in your phone. And then the other part of it that has been, that I can look back and see is that one of the gifts of being in a wheelchair is your wheelchair is always there. Yeah. So you don't get to hide your insecurity. It's literally just out there. And so, I remember as a little kid going into new situations and like it used to feel like I was being stung by 1,000 bees. I was just so uncomfortable because I was different and I was the only one. Now, of course, we know that this isn't true, but I felt like I was the only one that was different.
Of course.
And that's so common. But having a disability as a kid builds a kind of resilience and confidence because you are showing up every day to school with your biggest insecurity in front of everyone. Yeah. And so the way that I think I have built confidence is repetition, right? So after I graduate NYU, I'm now wanting to go into audition in front of Broadway casting directors and, big network casting directors that cast all the television shows. And I had to, and this is one of my favorite things that I think you'll enjoy, but I had to start this mantra that I talk about, which is hosting your own party, which means when you show up, you get to be the host. And the reason that I talk about this is because my disability is in the room no matter what. So when I go into an audition, when I go out on a date, when I am, getting married, when I am having a baby, my disability, my wheelchair is in the room. So it's a part of who I am. And when I host my own party, I like to talk about it. I like to bring up my wheelchair. I like to bring up my disability because it empowers me to know that I can talk about it however I want. This is my narrative. And in sharing your most vulnerable parts, you give permission to others to do the same. And then, magically, you're not alone anymore.
It's beautiful.
So it's like creating this amazing community by rehearsing and practicing your authentic self. Okay? And especially because my work is public, I really wanted to figure out the way that I wanted to tell my story, because the reality was I wasn't going to get roles until people trusted me. And people weren't going to trust me if I wasn't honest. And I had to get honest with myself about what is the story? What is my story? And we went through the same thing, but in different roles, right? And when you are the one who is receiving this amount of support after becoming, I received so much support after I got hurt. You're watching how people do that. And for me, I believe that now as an adult, I can give that back. And that is another important sort of thing that I live by, that if you receive a lot of help, it's really important to give a lot as well. It's like how you stay in balance.
I mean, you've breached your talents from being an incredible singer to now one of the more articulate, beautiful speakers, that I hear.
Thank you.
It's such an interesting combination because, when you're singing songs, there's a script. When you're speaking, there is no script. You're not one to sit here and talk. This is all coming from somewhere. And that's the most bizarre thing in the world. And of course, I believe, and I know you, I sound like Jenny, we believe that you're a vessel, from some bigger thing that's like putting this out, right? So, I've had the luxury of speaking with you a few times, and now you've kind of nudged me to the side, and said, Dad, I'd love to speak with you, but, today I'm speaking with Derek Jeter or...
No.
I'm just kidding. We still do some work. But the most, exciting part, the two best moments every time we speak is the one moment, especially with little kids, where the little third grader goes, "Hey, Allie." And Allie goes, "Yeah, don't you wish you could walk?" And everybody, all the adults freeze like this, right? And Allie just all of a sudden, like you do your best when you feel like like this is when the superstars shine the most, when the pressure's on. she comes here. And of course, what's your answer to don't you wish you could walk?
Well, I say no, because I love my life and I love what my challenges have created for me. And, Dad talks a lot about like flipping something. For me, I like the sort of quote that I use, which is turning limitations into opportunities. And I know without my chair, without my disability, without my trauma, without my experience, I would never be who I am. And I'm really proud of who I am, and I'm proud of how I've navigated my challenges. And also, it's not over.
Yeah.
Like, the challenges continue. And you think like, oh, we did it, we're done. It's like, no, you're not done.
The show's not over yet.
You're not done until you're done.
No. Forget the porn. No. You're still in the game. What? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I think also working with kids and talking about disability has been so empowering for me, because the truth is that I felt like growing up, a lot of kids were taught not to stare, not to point, and not to ask around disability. And that strategy creates so much fear and space between, learning about disability, somebody with a disability and someone without. And so now as an adult, I'm not a kid anymore, I can really talk about this for parents, and now that I'm a parent as well, that allow your kids to engage with the disability, allow them to come talk to somebody with a disability, introduce themselves, model like how the interaction could go, because teaching somebody that they're not allowed to engage with somebody with a disability teaches fear.
Yeah.
And I'm just not, I don't think that is, I don't think it's helpful. It's not helpful for us. It's not helpful for anyone who is different.
Yeah.
Right? Like the dream and the way that I try to lead in my life is that everyone is important.
Yeah.
Everyone is equal.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves respect and to be heard and to be seen. And we live in a time where there's a lot more fear and there's a lot more instability. Yeah. And I say, like, that's the world, but what we create in our homes is the R. Yeah. It's our response. And our kids are watching and they are listening. And, I live by the E plus R equals O because I have no choice. No, I'm kidding. But my dad really, not only does he talk about it all the time, but he models it. And it's really, really difficult to practice the R when you feel like things are not fair, or when you feel like you've been gypped, or you feel like this isn't your fault. Yeah. But I just want to say, like, because this is how we grew up in our house, that the R is always a choice. Yeah. And
every day. What
a gift to have a choice. Yeah. To have a choice about how you want to handle something. And you're not going to be perfect.
Yeah. Well, the story that we tell ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's the whole thing, right? We're all storytellers. We're all master storytellers. We're telling ourselves a story every day about our existence. That's right. And you came out with a line that I think is the greatest line ever been. In fact, Allie's already written 2 incredible books.
3.
That's what I said. 3. No, 3. 3 books. And you've turned into this incredible writer. And of course, now I have a book that kind of talks about, our story, and that's Huddle Up, of course, which is our story, which is really cool. But the thing we talk about in the story, that like the biggest, and your next book has one title. And the title came from someone else nudging you. It was a bunch of doctors for the first almost 13 years of your life who were working like voraciously to help you get better. They said, Allie, we can make you better. We can make you better one day. You'll stand up and run. And then all of a sudden you came out with this line, or this story. And then what's the line? Well,
the line, I mean, it's just a philosophy. Like, I am better. I am way better than I would be if I didn't have a disability, I think. And, you know, for anyone who's living with a challenge, who's living with a limitation, who's living with a disability, who's living with, you know, a disease, it's so important for you to mind the noise. Yeah. There's a lot of people and a lot of, you know, doctors and society who's going to tell you, like, or ask you what's wrong with you. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked what's wrong. And that has a deep impact on our self-worth. And I think, you know, they talk about, like, for racehorses, that they wear blinders so they can't see. You got to put on your blinders sometimes and really, you know, ask yourself, is this serving me? Yeah. Is this helping me? Is the way that I'm being treated with you know, this group of people or these doctors, is that making me feel better? Yeah. And the truth is that everyone has problems. Yeah. Everyone has limitations. And so you are not alone. And I also have found deep connection with other people and other women in wheelchairs. That was an important piece of my puzzle that I didn't really have until I was 18 and I moved, or actually more like 21 when I moved to LA, and I met a group of women in wheelchairs, and that really changed my life because I felt like all of the things that I had to carry, I was carrying alone, and I realized, oh, all these women go through this as well. And we have this amazing tool of social media where we can find people like us, you know, and find someone who might be going through what we're going through or might think the way we think. And it's really the source of community that you can find now is so deep and so wonderful. And so that's been really important for me as well.
Well, our family after the accident, you know, slowly, you know, kind of got away from going to church. Mm-hmm. And there was no formal religion, but there was kind of an unwritten rule that kind of the Dalai Lama rule, which is, you know, kindness is my religion. Mm-hmm. So on Sundays, Saturdays, Monday, it's like do kind things. Mm-hmm. But I think your life and our lives have a tremendous spirituality now. Definitely. A tremendous belief that there's something else going on. Certainly, Jody and I and Jake, Allie, and Tori and Allie would not have chose. But when you were 1.5, you're gonna end up paralyzed. Your life's gonna be extremely. Do you want it? Like, do you want hard things? I think we'd all go, no. I want to ride across the river on the boat, not swim across. No. I don't need a lift to the bridge. I don't want to like we'd all choose easier. But I think there's something bigger at play, that people like you who have been given extremely difficult challenges, so to speak, are the chosen ones. You're chosen to take that. And then you become, as Joseph Campbell would say, the hero of your own life. And the hero's journey is something that you go through, which is extremely hard. And you go through it, but when you go through it, you accrue this wisdom. You accrue this incredible new perspective of life. And your job as the hero in the hero's journey is to come out and not go, yeah, I made it, but now use what you've learned to help others. And that, I think, is the gift of having gone through what you have. So I watched you roll out the Paralympics to sing the national anthem in front of like the biggest 100 millions of people. I've seen you in the Jimmy Fallon show come out to do Oklahoma. I've seen you Murders in the Building with our hero Steve Martin on Ozark. I've seen you it's a gazillion different things, and all of these would make anybody go, whoa, that's scary, right? I don't know if I can perform. And when you get out there, something weird happens. You're actually great. I haven't think of ever seen you go. In fact, you're in Oklahoma. You're doing your keynote song. I can't say no. And she's swinging the microphone over her head like this. And all of a sudden the mic gets caught in her chair, right? And it's like, oh no, the whole thing got, and any normal person would be like, stop the show. And Allie, like just without any pause or hesitation, goes right and uses it like as a funny moment, like, whoa. And that's what the pros do, and you do. Like, no matter what happens, you adapt, you adjust, you go on the fly. It's never like, screw it, we're done. It's always like a message, like, this is going to make you better. So that was a statement, not a great question. But like, tell me how you feel about being chosen as this so-called person to act as a hero for not only the disabled community, but anyone. You said it when you received the award. You said, this award's not for me. This is not for me. And everybody's like, wait a minute, you just won it. No, it's not for me, but it's for every kid that's watching tonight. An adult, you didn't say it, with a disability, a challenge, or a limitation, who's been waiting to see themselves represented in this arena. It's for you. So, like, that statement is like, Allie, was that scripted? Who wrote that? Your publicist? I mean, that to me is spirituality. That to me is stuff that came through from somewhere bigger because you were placed on this earth to be in a different role. Stop, Jim. Okay.
No, but that is exactly, that is how I feel, that, the accident was not an accident. We are handed the challenges that we are made for. Yeah. And that is really hard to practice in certain times of your life. Yeah. But, we used to talk about finding the gift. And I think that feels like so resonant to me about, like, every day, every day you wake up paralyzed, right? When you have a disability, you don't get weekends off, you don't get holidays off, and you have a choice. Yeah. So, I mean, I really believe that, all of this was meant to be. Yeah. And it's also how I choose to look at it as well. And that is a part of my personal narrative. And I just want to also say that it's been really amazing to work with my dad because he has his own story around this, thing that happened to you, because it did happen to you as well, but in a different...
For me.
It happened for you and to you. And you were in a certain role, and my role in this has been different. And so if there's something that happens to a group of people or to your family, just understand that you're all allowed to have your own narrative and your own version of the story. And I just feel so lucky and grateful that not only did this particular thing happen to me, but that I had you and Mom, that you guys were our leaders, because we were so young and we didn't know anything else. But your strategy, I guess this is more like a question for you, but your strategy was so clear. Yeah. There was no hesitation around it. And one of those things that I really, really still live by is that I'm going to surround myself with positive people. Yeah. And you were determined, and Mom was determined, to really have a positive group of people around us. And I think that is really, really important and continues to be.
Yeah. Well, let's close it up here. We'll tie this thing up. But we all have these epiphanies, these moments in our life. I call them quake moments, like where the earth shatters, like these one moments where you're put in a position where you can either be a coward or show courage. You're put in a position where you can either roll into the arena and let it go. And it doesn't matter, but either let it go or you hide, you go out the back door. These are moments where you're asked, look, do you want to go for it or are you going to play it safe? Mm-hmm. And for you, that moment, I know what that moment was that changed your life. And we're down at our beach house in the backyard, and I'll let you take the story and we can finish it up on that.
Yeah. When I was 7 years old, we were on LBI, and our next door neighbors had 3 kids, and their oldest daughter came home from summer camp a theater summer camp and decided to direct a production of Annie in our backyard. And she cast me as Annie, and she cast you as Miss Hannigan.
Of course, it was casting.
Perfect casting. And
that's when my hair was longer, by the way.
Yeah, right. That was the wig. And it changed my life because being on stage in front of people, I feel like it was the moment I got to take my power back. Yeah. I had felt like, after getting injured and, the way that the world was looking at me, people felt sorry for me, and that was not how I felt. Yeah. And so when I got on stage and everyone was watching me and they were staring at me, but they weren't staring at me because I was in a chair. Yeah. They were staring at me because I was the star of the show. And in that instant, it was like, oh, this is my story. Yeah. This is my power. This is my party. And that's where I go off of this, like, host your own party. Like, this is mine.
And you're 7, and then this, like, thing comes out of you, and you don't have to do much of it, but just all of a sudden, like, what comes out of you that's like, oh my God, just give us a touch.
Dad,
you guys, I always make. Come on,
you guys, this is teeny. So my dad has been doing this to me, the putting you on the spot to sing since I was, 7 years old. So I'm gonna say this after. How about you end this episode with just a clip of "Can't Say No"? It's on Spotify. We can put it on at the end. I'm almost 40. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna sing instead.
But please don't. But I am going to say that when I sang, for me, that was the spiritual moment of like, oh, whoa, like this is something coming out of me that is like, it's greater than me. And it wasn't something that like I had practiced at 7 that much. So my voice, finding my singing voice was like a moment of like full clarity. Oh, this is what I love and this is what I do well. And I'm being given a vehicle to like express myself and do what brings me so much joy. Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up. Like everybody has their own Mount Rushmore, right? Like the people that they admire most. And unfortunately, 2 of the 3 Mount Rushmore figures are not next to Allie, right? Because, we didn't get into much to Jake, who was on the accident as well, and going through his own, incredible challenges. And then Tori, who gets brought onto this team, like to play this other incredible role as this giver and lover and new bright perspective. Like the whole, so there's 3 people that are on my Mount Rushmore. And can you imagine them having those are your kids? And I said to Allie and Jake and Tori, like, I carried all of you. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, something odd happens. They start carrying you. And you've carried me through the most important part of my life. So
now he cries it's when he talks about his kids.
Fun, like you tell stories, they're fun, like Disney stories and hero stories. But then what if, like, you're actually in one of these stories and you get to coach the heroes and, like, you're really there. So
sounds like
I hope, like, pray to God I have another day to live. But if I don't, it's okay. It's okay, because I've been given, like, more than enough, because the 3 of you answered the call and did the most beautiful thing in the world. You went for it in the face of tremendous challenges. So do you have any last statement before?
Well, it sounds like you have to have Jake and Tori on, because I want to watch those episodes.
As long as there's some laughter to it. Right?
No, I want to watch those episodes. And I just want to say, I'm so excited that you're putting this into the world, because I really do believe that this concept of E+R=O, and, living in the R zone and realizing you have a choice every day has been transformative in my life. Not that I had much choice when I was a kid, but when you begin to do this, like, it really can change your whole life. So thank you for putting this out in the world, and I know it will help more people, and I hope you all enjoyed today.
Yeah, well, when you grew up, you would say something like, yep, I think the R zone has legs, but I think the R zone has wheels.
Yeah, baby.
That's the way I see it.
I love it.
Thank you to Allie. Thank you to you, most importantly, for tuning in and being here. And, this is Coach Jim Stroker. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't subscribe, but subscribe to our podcast. And you can follow me on all the socials for updates. But most importantly, this has been a total waste of time. You just wasted 46 minutes. Unless you do something with it and go out and really make an effort to make the world a better place and be kind to everyone you see, because that's the real R-Zone. Have a great, great day. And Allie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you, Dad.
Here, I'll do a real kiss.
Love you.
Let's get you into the R-Zone. Coach Jim Stroker has provided a bridge for inspiration and hope for people all over the world. Are you ready to transform your life and your leadership skills? Invite Coach Stroker to inspire your students or motivate your teams, offering personalized keynote speeches, dynamic workshops, inspirational life coaching, and comprehensive leadership training. From Fortune 500 companies to students all over the country to nonprofits and individuals. Empower yourself to become the best version of you with Coach Jim Stroker. For speaking, workshops, training, or coaching, work with Jim Stroker. Visit CoachStroker.com to start your journey today. Let's get into the R-Zone.
For more, follow Coach Jim Stroker on socials. And be sure to subscribe to the R-Zone podcast, available on all major platforms, including Spotify and YouTube.
And don't forget to pick up a copy of Coach Jim Stroker's new book, Huddle Up, available now on Amazon.
This production was recorded at Ignite Creator Studios, Digital Media and Content Strategy. Visit ignitecreatorstudios.com.